All right, well, first of all, I want to thank Ms. Krause and Ms. Tolnai for giving me the opportunity to come here and share my voice. I'm Ronnie, and I'm 13. I'm an 8th grader at Graham Middle School, and I'm a mental health advocate and activist. I made that piece shortly after I watched The Social Dilemma, a documentary about the effects of social media on teens and tweens. Many people have asked me why I first got so involved in the fight to release the stigma around mental health. The truth is, there's several people around me who've been affected by it, and more than 1 in 4 people suffer from it. I can tell you the deep and personal reasons why change matters to me, but that would be violating the privacy of my loved ones. They still don't feel comfortable sharing their stories of anxiety, depression, and even suicidal thoughts. They still feel judged when they go to the doctor and by their peers. They feel like they must whisper when talking about their illness. Something has to change. We need to stop the whispering and start talking about how we are feeling. That's why I'm fighting for more peer-to-peer communication about mental health in schools. I recently had the opportunity to interview Dr. Stephen Hinshaw for my upcoming documentary. He's a crusader for mental health and creating a stigma-free world. He's an inspiration to me. And one of the most profound things he said to me was, it is people of your age and generation who are going to make the difference. Right now, local schools do a great job of educating parents on how to deal with any mental health struggles their teens and tweens might be having. This is great if the parent is involved and open to their talking to their kid about mental health. However, that's not always the case. Most students don't talk to their parents about how they're feeling. So, as educators, I ask you why we aren't trusting our teens and tweens to learn about mental health challenges like anxiety, depression, ADHD, OCD, autism at school. When I look at the student-only chat groups outside of school, when I look at the bathroom walls of my middle school, and when I listen to the echoing gossip in the halls, I see and hear just how informed my peers are about sex, alcohol, and drugs. We are not as naive as you may think we are. And because it is not allowed to discuss mental health issues in the classroom without a counselor or psychologist present, many students are suffering and have no idea why. And if they do know why, and for instance have social anxiety, they are pre-programmed to think it is taboo to feel that way. They think something is wrong with them. They suffer alone in silence. Adults can play as many PSAs as they want for them, but that's not enough to make a kid feel like it's okay to feel the way they do. Talking to their peers has that power of empathy and communication we so desperately need to unlock. That's why I founded The Empathizers. In an ideal world, I would like to have discussions, peer-to-peer discussions on a month-to-month basis. However, I understand we don't live in that world yet. The word empathizers comes from the word empathy, meaning in feelings with others. That's what we do. We want to create a destigmatized school community in which people can talk about how they're feeling. We want teens and tweens to learn about anxiety and depression so they can see those signs in themselves and others. And instead of replying, "I'm fine," to anyone who asks, we want students to tell the truth. We want them to feel heard. We want them to know that they are not alone, and that everyone else is feeling something too. This is not just a school club. This is a movement. We want other teens and tweens to be educated and see that having a mental illness is just like any other illness. We want other teens to talk about it openly. Most often, if someone has cancer, they aren't ashamed to share it. However, with mental health, they are. believing they did something to cause it. And then they hide it away. With more than 1 in 4 people having a mental illness, that has to change. And like Professor Hinshaw said to me, I believe my generation will be the one to bring on that change. Here is a high-level look at what we, the empathizers, are planning. Among other things, we're creating PSAs and posters to spread awareness around different mental disorders, such as anxiety, depression, ADHD, autism, and even smaller things, like lack of motivation. We plan to hand out cards and hotlines in case of mental health emergencies. We're working with faculty to offer calming lunchtime activities, such as yoga and meditation. We are hosting mental health spirit days to come together as one and support each other. We hope to have a 2-day workshop series dedicated to mental health in May, centered around Mental Health Awareness Month. And I want to create a site that shows what we've been doing and how other schools can continue this movement. My long-term goal is to create a template for the empathizers that can be shared at other local middle schools, and I would be happy to mentor them. I believe educators can help students by supporting them and having a voice. They can encourage them by helping them speak up for themselves. If a few kids speak up, it may open the door for more introverted and shy kids to open up. Here are a few other ways I think educators can help. When mental health topics come up in classrooms and projects, have more open discussions about those topics. Try to integrate more fun activities, such as group skits and open mic events. Observe mental health national days and weeks, and discuss them. After digital citizenship lessons, discuss what was learned in the class. Let kids have a voice. Remind kids to take a breath in class. Do breathing exercises regularly. Teach your students about self-care. You can even use these methods for your own personal use. And if you have a mental health issue, don't hide it. Normalize it. This doesn't mean talking about it every day, but make it seem okay. Allow your students to know that you are human too. Now on to digital citizenship. At 13, we are given the key to social media, but only taught how to navigate it. Through online programs, where's the peer-to-peer discussion? Where's the open discussion? Currently at my school, once or twice a year, we have a week where we do several Nearpod lessons. Each period that week gives at least one Nearpod lesson, usually ranging from fishing to copywriting to your online footprint. While a couple of these lessons might be centered around cyberbullying, it isn't enough. Instead of only doing online digital citizenship programs, why can't students spend the final day of these Nearpod weeks talking to each other about what they learned? Students can't learn about these essential topics through articles and multiple choice questions. Social emotional learning isn't about participation grades and writing essays. So, why don't we practice what we are taught? Maybe we can even get into groups and create skits around various topics. We need more peer-to-peer interaction. And I keep hearing from educators, counselors, and administrators that they are worried about triggering students by discussing certain mental health topics. But as a student, I believe the real triggers are the locker room gossip and the comments online from cyberbullies. I believe we can save a lot of students if we arm them with the mental health knowledge. If we keep talking about mental health and letting my peers understand it's just like anything else to go to the doctor for, maybe they won't see their struggles as taboo. We're all human. It's okay to have anxiety, depression, or fear. And by arming students with more mental health knowledge, we are moving towards a stigma-free nation. Thank you.
Terrific job. I hope the rest of us can reach the standards around it. Thank you. Good job. It's great.